It's time to ignite your core and work hard for your dream abs. In this Yogalates workout, we're going to be on our hands and feet for just 5 minutes, and then we'll move to our back for hands-free exercises and really focus on the upper and lower abdominal muscles. By lifting the head off of the mat and looking forward during these exercises, you will be working your neck muscles, which are often forgotten and turned off by this tech neck that we have. If you're ready, let's get on the mat and get to it. Let's begin seated at the back of the mat, maybe rolling your head a little bit. And let's place the left hand on the mat, reaching up and over with the right arm. And to the opposite side, reaching up and over. Just switching back and forth, warming up the side body. Back to center. Coming onto our hands and knees, let's do a cat-cow. Rounding the back as you look between your knees and looking up as you arch your back. Getting movement into the spine. And let's bring the back into neutral. Lift the left arm and the right leg out into bird dog. Holding, trying not to wobble. And let's bend the elbow and the knee at 90-degree angles. Bring them down to center and extend back to bird dog. Let's do that again. Out to the side, down, and stretching out. To the side, down, and out. Keep going. Stretch it out. And release the hand and the knee down to the mat. Let's switch to the other side. Right hand extends, left leg extends. Bring them to a 90-degree angle, down to center, and stretch it out. This whole time we're engaging our abdominal muscles. We're feeling how our core is keeping us stable in our bird dog. As we move, keep going, keep breathing. And let's bring it back to center, hands and knees on the mat. Tuck your toes, and let's lift the knees up just to a hover. Step the feet out to plank, back to a hover in our bear stance. Hold, and then step the feet closer to the hands, and step back to the bear stance. Step back out to plank, back to bear, forward toward the hands, and step back to bear, back to plank, back to bear, and forward to the hands. Keep going, back to bear. Reconnecting to your breath if you're getting fatigued. Let's take a quick pause in our forward fold and step back into plank. Holding in plank, and let's bring that left knee to the left elbow and back to plank. Switch to the right side and back to plank. Keep going. We're taking our knees to our elbows or even up to your tricep if you can, toward your armpits. Really making the abdominals work here. Engaging our shoulders as well. And let's release back to downward facing dog. Your heels don't have to be touching the mat. Maybe bend your knees slightly. And let's roll forward to plank. And come onto your elbows for an elbow plank. You can drop your knees and hold. Then lifting the hips back into dolphin. And bringing the hips down closer to the mat, hovering above. And lifting back to dolphin. So we're going from a dolphin to an elbow plank. And you may need to shift your feet back a little bit more. Find what's right for you so that you're not putting too much pressure on your elbows or your shoulders. And when you come down, really engage those abdominal muscles. Hover your hips above the mat. Keep going, you got this. And release the knees to the mat. Sit back to child's pose. Quick break. And let's come back to our hands and knees. Lift the knees, hover them, and let's kick the right foot out to the left side and switch. Maybe touch the right toes with the left hand and switch to the other side. and lift back to downward facing dog. Great job. Let's bend the knees, hover them above the mat, and as you lift forward to plank, bring your right knee to the right tricep and back to hovering, left knee to left tricep and back. Keep going. Don't forget to breathe. No holding your breath. Keep going. You got this. You're doing great. Bend the knees. Right knee to right tricep. Sitting back, hovering the knees above the mat, and extending into downward facing dog. Let's hold, maybe walk your hands out a bit farther. We are done with our shoulder and plank exercises. And let's bend the knees and step toward the hands, halfway lift, and then sitting down to the mat. Let's lift the feet off of the mat, touching the toes to the mat, lift them back up. Arms can be stretched out in front of you or even back behind you if you need to on the mat. Not only are we working the abs here, we're also working our hip flexors. When you lift your legs, you're really engaging those muscles, so keep going, keep breathing. I know it's getting challenging. Almost done with this exercise. Let's lift up and release the feet onto the mat. I'm just going to switch around here. Let's release the back to the mat. Stretch your arms up and over your head. And bring your hands behind your head. Lift your knees into the chest. And doing a variation of the exercise we just did, touch the toes to the mat and lift up. This exercise is a bit harder if you are lifting your shoulder blades off of the mat, using your core to lift your chest, not putting any pressure on your head. And in, and let's grab the right knee with the hands, release the head down to the mat, extending the left leg out, and then place the right foot on the mat, grab the back of the left leg, maybe pointing and flexing the toes, and then release it down a little bit out to the side, along with your right arm out to the side. And then we're going to crunch in, touch the toes with the fingers, and extend out. Touch, extend, touch, extend. Great job, keep going. Doing as many as you can at the pace that you need today. Keep crunching and release, grabbing the left leg again. Bend the knee, bring both knees into the chest, maybe rock side to side. And let's extend the right leg out. Left knee into the chest this time. Place that left foot on the mat. Right hand behind your head, left arm extended, and let's crunch in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Grab onto the leg and bend both knees into the chest before we extend them out. Stretching to opposite sides of the mat. And let's bring the hands underneath the glutes. Bring the knees into the chest. We're going to lift our hips up off of our hands. Our feet are coming over the head. And not only are we lifting up, we're doing a slight little twist to the left and then the right. So twisting your lower body to the left and then the right. And last lift. Great job. Knees into the chest. Hold and breathe, reconnecting to your breath. Let it go. And let's extend the legs up to the sky, pointing the toes. Lift the chest up off of the mat. Arms are extending to the back of the mat. And then just doing a little tiny scissor kick here. Kick, kick, kick. Feel your core firing up. And release both legs up to the sky, pointing the toes, maybe grabbing onto the ankles or the calves or behind the knees. And let's reach up again. We're going to crisscross the legs. Crisscross, crossing, doing tiny little movements. Remember we're working our neck muscles as well as our abs. And now let's crisscross and open the legs out to the side. Crisscross, open. Crisscross, open. Again, going with your own pace, maybe a little bit slower, maybe a little bit faster, whatever feels right for you. Keep going, crisscross and open. Great job. Let's release the arms above the head and bring the knees into the chest, grabbing onto the knees, reconnecting to the breath. Take a deep breath in and exhale it all out. Doing a great job. We're halfway there. Now let's roll up again, lifting the shoulders off of the mat. And let's do our double leg stretch, reaching out with the legs and the arms and then bringing it in. Keep going. Reach, forward and reach. Extend your legs out. The lower you extend your legs, the harder this will be. And let's come into center. Plant the right foot on the mat. Extend the left leg up to the sky. Maybe doing a few ankle rolls. Holding onto the leg. Rolling the ankle in the opposite direction. Let's extend the right leg out now. So both legs are straight. Feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings. And let's lift up again and do big scissor kicks. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going. You've got this. Don't give up. Just a few more. Keep going. And both legs up to the sky. Great job. Knees into the chest. Maybe rock back and forth. Let's plant the left foot now. Extending the right leg up to the sky. Rolling out the ankle to the left and then the right. Slowing your heartbeat down just a little bit. Taking another deep breath. And let's extend the left leg out now. Lift the shoulders up off the mat. Arms are forward. And scissor kicks again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Knees into the chest. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Relax them onto the mat. Knees are wide. Finding Supta Baddha Konasana. Getting ready for our next exercise. The hands can hover above the mat to your sides. Let's lift the legs up to the sky, extending them straight, and bring them down into that same position that we did before. Lift up and down. Up and down, making this a little bit more difficult by lifting your shoulder blades off of the mat. And the lower you lift your legs, the harder it's going to be. So when you extend them out, if you extend them lower toward the mat, it's going to be much harder on your abs. Great job. Let's extend them up to the sky, grabbing onto the legs wherever you can. Reaching forward with the arms. Let's get ready for our Pilates 100s. Going to reach the arms forward and pump them 100 times. Just little flutters above the mat. Great job. Keep pumping. Just little tiny pumps. If you'd like to give an extra challenge to your abs today, lower your legs a little bit more. The lower they go, the more your core is engaged. You got this. Keep going. Smile through the burn. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. And great job. Bring the knees into the chest. Take a big exhale out. Maybe rocking from side to side. Massaging the lower back. We are not far from the end. Let's extend the arms behind you and roll forward, coming up to boat pose and rolling back, lifting the hips. When you come up, try not to touch your toes to the mat. And this last one, let's roll up to our feet, come into forward fold. Step back to plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Just a quick little flow to reset the body. Let's bend the knees, bring them to the mat, find a quick child's pose. And from here, let's bring the hips forward toward the mat, finding upward facing dog. Untuck your toes. And then lifting back into downward facing dog. Let's bend the knees, bring them to the mat again, and sit back onto your heels in hero's pose. Let's lift onto the knees now. Cross your arms in front of your chest and lean back just enough to where you feel your core and your thighs engaging. So trying to keep your back as straight as possible. We're not trying to do a back bend here. We're really focusing on leaning back, using the core to keep us stable and straight, as well as our quads. Releasing back and forward, back and forward, going back as far as you need to. Great job. Let's release the right hand to the right heel, sweeping the left arm up and over and back, and then moving to the left side, reaching back and forward, doing our camel swings. So we're stretching out the abdominals while we work our thighs again. Still getting some core engagement as we come up and forward. And let's hold here in Camel Pose, bringing both hands to the heels, or you can come up and place both hands onto the low back. Push your hips forward and lean back. Your head comes back last. Staying here, or maybe reaching down now to your heels. If you tuck your toes, you can lift your heels a bit closer to your hands. Feeling a nice stretch in the front of the body, in the throat. To come out, let's place the hands on the low back, lifting up slowly, taking our time, and then spreading the knees and allowing ourselves to fall forward, creating space so we can bring our forehead to the mat, stretching out the back, stretching out the shoulders. You did an amazing job during this workout. You really, really worked very hard, and I'm so proud of you. Let's roll up, sitting on the heels, reach the arms up to the sky, and bring your hands down to heart, thanking yourself for this practice. See you again soon. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me for this intense ab workout. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.